Good morning, you guys. I hope you're having a great day. Let's look at this worksheet and complete it together. So this worksheet is a review of slope, and that's because as we move into doing stuff with like scatter plots and things like that, we want to make sure that we are familiar with slope, because that's the basis for it, okay? So if we look here, it actually, what is the slope, okay? So the slope is always next to x. So here, the slope is 5, okay? And then it asks you what the y-intercept is, okay? The y-intercept is the number that's being added or subtracted, so it's 6. So if I was to graph this, I would start at 6, and I would go up 5 over 1, up 5 over 1. Okay, this one, my slope, again, is next to x, so it's 1/2, right? That also represents my rise and my run. Then it asks you what is the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is -2, okay? So don't forget about that negative in the front. So if I was to graph this, I would start at -2. I would go up 1 over 2, plot the point. Up 1 over 2, plot the point, okay? This one, y equals -6x. The slope is negative. So we know if we look at that from left to right, because remember, we read a graph from left to right, it would be going down, okay? And then the y-intercept, there's no number being added or subtracted, and that means the y-intercept is 0, meaning that this goes through the origin, okay? What does the slope in a linear model represent? So we talk about slope representing the change in y over the change in x. So in class, this is not going to draw for me. Oh no. Anyways, so we in class I talk about like the change in y. Like I do that little delta triangle over the change in x. And so slope is the ratio of the change in the y and the change in x, okay? Here it says for the key, the rate at which the independent variable x changes with respect to the dependent variable y, okay? So we know x is independent, right? So basically, like let's say you wanted to buy 4 cookies, the y would be dependent on how much you pay is dependent on how many cookies you buy, right? If you buy 5 cookies, you're going to pay more than what you would pay for 4 cookies, all right? But the x part is kind of like your choice. Like, what do you want? 5 orders of fries? Do you want 10 cookies? Whatever. What does the y-intercept represent on a linear model? Okay. Okay, so the y-intercept that's when the line crosses the x-axis, right? So the y-intercept is where the y value crosses the x-axis crosses the what? The y-axis, and the value of x is 0, okay? So in the context, right, like let's say, let me see, I wish I had like a graph here, okay, like looking at this, so this is like the y-intercept, okay, so this is 4, this is y-intercept, this is 8, and this is, the y-intercept, that's 1, right? A linear model describes the percentage of Leah's phone battery charge when she wakes up in the morning with respect to charging. The linear model indicates that for each minute spent charging, the battery increases by 4%. Okay, and 4% is the same as 0.04. Okay. It suggests that with 0 minutes charging, the phone's battery is at 20%. okay? And we know 20% equals 0.2. All right. What is the slope for this linear model? What is the y-intercept, okay? So it is suggested that with 0 minutes, okay, so the minutes representing the x, right? So minutes equals the x value, right? And then the battery charge is equals the y values, okay? And so that y-intercept is 20%. So that's where we're starting off at our graph. Like my phone is charged 20%, okay? And it's going to go up. It's starting at 20% and it's going to go up every, like by 4%, okay? So I'm going to say y equals, what is the rate that is going to be charged by 4%? So I'm going to say 0.04 x plus 0.2, okay? So I'm going to move this over because they're decimals. So I can move this decimal over twice by timesing it by 100 and move this decimal over twice by timesing it by 100, okay? So I'm going to rewrite this as y equals, not 0.04, but I'm going to times that by 4. I'm going to times that by 100 and get 4. So 4x plus 20, okay? And so just to show you, let me see. So if I do 0.04 times, what's it called? 100, I get 4. And if I do 0.2 times 100, I get 20. And if we were to graph it, y equals 4x plus 20, okay? So I'm going to zoom out. So here we go. Right here, 0, 20, okay? Let's see. Equals 4x plus 20. Let me see, maybe I can make a table and it would do it for me. Y equals 4 times x1 plus 20. Okay. So all I did was, instead of putting for y, I replaced it with 4x sub 1 plus 20. So then when I put 0 in here, it's 20. So that means at 0 minutes, right, it's charged 20%. And so at 1 minute, you see it's going up by 4, it's charged 24%, okay? At 20 minutes, it's fully charged, okay? That's because I'm putting 20 here, right? So 4 times 20 is 80, right? But it was already charged 20%, so it's 100, okay? So anyways, the slope is 4, and the y-intercept is 20. All right, interpret the slope and rate and change. Elliot sells apples by the bushels at a local farmer's market. His cost to sell the apples is $75 a day cost. Okay, so that means this is going to be negative. If Elliot sells 80 bushels of apples, his net profit is $205. What is he charging per bushel of apples? Okay, so the cost, like how much I make, right? I know that I'm selling 80 bushels of apples. I don't know how much the apples cost, okay? And I know that I have to just even like to set up, get all the stuff for that day, maybe to rent a spot, maybe to have the containers, to buy a table and a tablecloth. That stuff cost me $75, okay? So I know that I made $205, all right? And I know I sold 80 bushels of apples, and I know before I can make any money, I already spent $75, okay? So I'm going to add 75 to both sides, okay? So that I can isolate this 80A and move all the numbers on the same side. So 205 plus 75 is 280. So that means my new equation is 205 oh shoot, excuse me, 280 equals 80A. Okay? So now I need to get A by itself. That means I need to, this is multiplying, right? So I need to divide. So what is 280 divided by 80? 3.5, okay? So that means that each apple bushel is $3.50, okay? So then I can rewrite this equation. Y equals 3.5, okay, minus 75, okay? So then I know, like, it costs 3.5, right, for each apple, right? But I'm not going to make any money until I sell these 70, like, till I make at least 75. So I'm going to add another table here, right? And what did we say? We said 3.5 x sub 1, okay, minus 75, okay? So I'm already starting off 75 in the dark, right? And then here I am, if I sell one apple, I made $3.50, but I'm still in debt $75. Let's see, if I sell 20 apples, I'm still in debt by $5. If I sell, I'm trying to figure out where am I starting to make money. I need to sell at least, that's 23 apples. Can I sell 22 apples? Yeah. Can I sell 21 apples? No. Okay. So if I sell 22 apples, that's when I start making a profit. Okay. So it's not even worth it if I'm not going to sell at least 22 apples, right? But then, like, maybe I don't even want to do it. Maybe I want to sell at least like 100, because I know I want to make $275. Okay. So this table is a way for you to kind of decide, is it even worth it for me to go out there and sell these apples? All right. What is the slope and the y-intercept? We said the slope is 3.5. Is the slope. And then the y-intercept, we're starting off at negative 75. Is the y-intercept. The y-intercept, okay. What does the y-intercept represent? When I sell zero apples, I'm still in debt by $75, okay? So when I sell no apples, I am in debt $75. Another way to look at it, it costs like $75 just to set up to sell apples. To set up to sell the apples. So maybe it's $25 to rent a table. Maybe the apples cost me $50. I don't know. Okay. But altogether, it was $75 I had to pay before I even sold an apple. Use the graph below to answer questions 10 through 13. So here I can see the y-intercept is 4. And this is a point, this is a point, and this is a point. So this is going up 2 over 1. Now, this is going up by 1. So I know it's going up 1, 2, because it's going from 4 to 6, so that's up 2. And then it's going from 0 to 1. This is going from 6 to 8, so that's up 2. And then it's going from 1 to 2, okay? So I know here that the slope is 2. And the y-intercept is 4. Now this one, I can see that if I look at it from left to right, it's going down, okay? So this one, the m equals 8. Oh, no, it don't. The y-intercept is 8. B equals 8, okay? And then the slope is going down 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, but 2 over 4? That reduces to 1 over 2, so maybe I missed something. So this is going down 1 over 2. down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, okay? So this one, the slope is 1/2. All right, next one, this last one, this is a positive slope, so this is a point. Like, this is not a point, right? It's like in between. This is kind of in between. This is in between. This is directly on the intersection of 2 and 4, okay? This is a point. So I'm starting at 1. That's my y-intercept. I'm going up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So M equals 1/4, and the B equals 1. All right, which graph has a slope of, so you should be able to answer these questions. This is wrong. Did y'all notice that? This is negative because it's going down. Nobody's above a mistake. And I even said that, but then I wrote it wrong, okay? So you should be able to answer these last questions. Okay, about these, but this one, when it says the greatest, it's asking which one is the steepest, okay? Which one is the best roller coaster? Which one would have the best drop, okay? All right, so after you complete this, turn this in, and then if you go to Canvas, MUSD app portal, and you go to Canvas, in your class, respectively. Nope, that's not it. Here it is. It'll be here. Okay. Oh, obviously you would have got it from here. Let's see next. Okay. So you watched the video and now you have 8 quizzes. It doesn't matter, like, if you work on the Delta Math or not. It's all good. But definitely do the quizzes, okay? All right, I hope y'all have a great day. And you can email me if you have any questions.